Hey, Tim Sykes here, and I think this is going to be a really useful video lesson. I'm going to really start chronicling more. My top student, Tim Grattani, is a big believer in chronicling. Chronicling? Detailing? Chronicling sounds weird. I don't know. He's detailing every single thing that he does, good trades, bad trades, and he creates a kind of spreadsheet with his trades. Here's another student, Jeff, who just passed $100,000 in profits. And he just is sending me these monthly. He doesn't trade every single day, but he's making roughly 15,000 a month. So this is basically what I'm going to do in the future, and I want you to let me know if you think this is a good idea. I already detail all my trades. For those of you who are wondering, I show all of my trades publicly on Profitly and in real time. And now that I'm back from Asia, you'll see me start doing a lot of live trading videos. I'm sorry, I didn't have good enough Wi-Fi the past few weeks, but here is my August so far. It was a slow month for me. I was also literally in Asia traveling with hardly any Wi-Fi, or when I did have Wi-Fi, it was like dial-up speeds, and that hurt. So I'm sorry that I really did not trade as much, but it was also kind of planned. August is the single slowest month of the year. So there's a reason why I went away for the month of August. I'm trading with a small account. My $12,000 account is now roughly 80,000. So that's a nice gain in the year 2016. Next year, I'm going to be trading with just 5,000 to start with. So you won't necessarily see huge dollar gains from me, but I think that it's very useful for you guys with small accounts to see how to grow it. And I also think that my upcoming live trading videos, where sometimes it's going to move too fast. Sometimes we see these fast moving stocks, and I simply would be unable to get off an alert, because by the time I even send the alert or write out the alert, the stock has already moved 50, 75 cents a share. So it's pretty useless to give alerts on stuff like that. So the live videos that you'll see me doing, pretty much starting now, in all September, October, November, December, you'll see how I trade, even if I'm not specifically alerting it in text form. And I think that's going to be very useful. But right now, I want to talk about a different kind of chronicling, not just my trades. But if you look on my website, timothysykes.com, you'll see a new tab right here called Results. And if you click that, it takes you to this web page where it has a lot of tweets from a lot of different students. And now this is updated as of July. I went away. I left on July 31st, so I've been a little behind. But I want you to go through this page and just look at what people are doing. No trade is ever going to make you truly rich. Any one bad trade could make you truly poor if you go all in, or if you use leverage, or if you don't cut losses quickly. But with all of these little gains, I want you to see what other people are doing successfully on different stocks like EVOK or MDGS or EPRS. The stocks don't matter, as you learn in the long run. These stocks, EVOK is now dead, MDGS is dead, SPHS is kind of dead, and this was just a month ago. So these hot stocks, KOL dead, EBIO, well, that's actually up a little bit. So not all of them are dead. But as you go through this, and we've, I just started doing this a few weeks ago, but we've gotten quite a cool little list. And this is just Twitter. I get tons of messages on all social media platforms, and I appreciate all the messages. But Twitter has a nice and easy way to embed the tweets, so you can see what my students are doing. And whether you're making, 90 bucks like Chris made on GBR, and he left money on the table, but that's a good trade, making 10%. And he posted this at 10:40 a.m. So he's making, 10% on his money in an hour since the market opened. Here's another guy, sold way too early on GBR. GBR was a big win. Lee Smith, made a little over 600 on TCCO. This was another morning spiker. I think that went all the way to 7 that morning. So there's a lot of trades here, and I want you to just go through it. So this is what I'm going to be really detailing, because this is what you should be judging me on, not just my personal trades. Because frankly, sometimes I'm traveling, sometimes I miss an alert because guess what? The stock moves too fast. As I said, I think the live trading videos will help with that. But my trades should never be followed. And I say this in every watch list. I say this in so many video lessons and DVDs and webinars, but some of you guys still don't seem to get it. I teach and think quite differently than most people who have chat rooms and newsletters. The vast majority, if not all chat rooms and newsletters are all about mentioning a ticker, bought it here, news, breaking news, and it's very quick. And they don't really, have a system or any great designs or framework. They just want to buy stocks that they think are going to go up or short stocks that they think are going to go down, whether they make 10 cents a share or $1 a share. It's not really structured. And with me, I actually spend quite a bit of time writing out my alerts. And as you'll see when I start making these live trading videos, I'm going to be commenting and narrating quite a bit before I put my money in, or even when I do put my money in live. For me, every single trade is part of a framework. I don't want to just take random trades. I don't want to just say, oh, I think this is going to go up. Here's my gut is telling me this. Because I have so many video lessons and DVDs and webinars, and they're all based on specific strategies and patterns, every single trade I do is just a real-time reminder of those patterns. Sometimes I'm undisciplined. Sometimes I take profits too quickly. Sometimes I take trades I shouldn't be in. I am not perfect. But what you must learn from my trades is that they're just examples of the patterns. And I know this is very tough for people to understand because they just want alerts, and they're like, well, everyone gives buy alerts and you just want to buy those alerts and then sell them, and that's how you make money. But you don't learn. And that's the problem. This is why I have more millionaire students than other chat rooms and newsletters, because I'm all focused on learning. If I miss a trade, if I buy 1,000 shares, it's laughable for me as a multimillionaire. I could trade with $10 million plus if I really wanted to trade and not teach and focus on making trading profits. I trade with such a small account to give you guys examples of what I do. If I miss a trade, guess what? That's still a good lesson. If I sell too soon, guess what? That's a great lesson. So that's how you should be looking at my trades, and that's how you really should be looking at other people's trades. Look at them. Don't just say, oh, Omar made 500 bucks. That's cool. He wants to quit his job. Omar, don't quit your job when you make $500, okay? Don't quit your job until you make at least 6 figures and you do it pretty consistently. I know trading can get exciting, but you also have to remember that 90% plus of traders lose. So I know too many people who make 500 or 200 in a few minutes and they're like, wow, this is the best thing ever. Let me just quit my job. No, calm down, okay? There is a thing as getting spoiled by this bull market. There is a thing as getting lucky. Some of these morning spikes are the stupidest things I've ever seen, the worst companies I've ever seen. It will not last forever. Before you quit your job or school or anything, before you commit a lot of, time to this profession, as opposed to just making money part-time or using it as a hobby or learning in the background of your normal life, you really need to understand that every single market is different and everything can change. So for me, who's been trading nearly 20 years now, I'm still learning. I'm still adapting. August kind of caught me off guard with some of these plays. I missed so many plays. And I know a lot of other traders missed a lot. I know some people did really well in August. I'm still doing well, but whether I grow my account from 10,000 to 80,000 or 10,000 to 150,000 or even 10,000 to 20,000, just know that what I'm teaching, or even if I don't make any money, if I don't know how that would be possible, because even when I miss like 8 out of 10 trades, there's still one, like ISNS when I was flying into Singapore and I made 25%. by missing the market open by 2 hours, and I could have made 50%. It's very tough if you focus on the right patterns not to make money and not to grow your account exponentially if you're disciplined. But what I want you to start thinking about, and I know this is tough, trust me, I know this video won't be popular, but you need to start thinking about growing your education and your knowledge base exponentially over time. And it takes time. And by studying my trades, by studying these students' trades who do well, this is basically a big catalog. I mean, look at this. This thing just keeps going. And we've just started doing this for the past few weeks. So this is going to be pretty cool. This was just started for July. These are all tweets from July. But by studying to see what works, a lot of these are morning spikes. I want you to start planning your own trades. And whether you're buying 100 shares or shorting 10,000 shares or 50,000 shares, the size doesn't really matter to me. Price action, man, look at this. $40,000 profits in 20 weeks as a trading challenge student. Much love. Me, Tim Grattani, Michael Good, Mark Crook. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why he's thanking me, some people question, like, why is he not just thanking you? Why is he thanking these other guys? Well, these other guys also give webinars and video lessons to challenge students. So that's what my trading challenge is. That's why he's giving love to everybody. But whether you're making 40,000 in profits or, you're making 480 bucks or, it doesn't matter. Look, here's a 6% gain, growing his small account. Every single one of these trades should be learned from. And once you get into that mentality, you start realizing, wait a minute, this is a kind of a cool game where you can keep adapting and you can keep, learning, and you try and make some money, whether it's 200 or 700, it adds up over time. And a lot of people on Wall Street don't get it. People in the real world, your friends, your family won't get it, but trust me, it is not just me. And when I see a lot of you guys in person in Orlando in a few weeks, you'll meet several dozen successful traders who are speaking. And, some people who aren't even speaking, but people who are making 6, 7 figures a year, or even 5 figures a year. But that is all after the educational process. So you can't force these kinds of profits. It's not going to happen every single time. Like this guy, who bought KONE in the ones and sold at the 12s and he made 13 grand. That's not going to happen every time. And I also said, let's see a screenshot. And I don't think he ever sent that to me. So don't necessarily think that all of these guys are so amazing and that these trades are great. Just look at them and start seeing the potential profit angles. Okay? Bankatronic made $112 on DRYS. I think I made like $2 grand on DRYS or something. That was a good one. Or maybe I made 1,500. I don't remember exactly. Here's Eric Russell. He's one of my most dedicated students, and he says trading has allowed him to buy a new house and a new car for his wife. Check out this. So if you want some motivation, check it out. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. All the cars get you from point A to point B the same. So please look at this page. If you go to timothysykes.com and you click on the results, you will see it. I'm really going to be adding to this list. I actually just spent like an hour going over August, the tweets, and here are the tweets that we'll be adding. These are some people sharing their trades with me on Twitter. And I'm sorry I couldn't get all of you guys. Twitter only allows me to go back 3 weeks, so I need to do this more often. But I was a little busy in August trying to live a little bit. But I look at every single message. I look at every single tweet. To me, I don't even know what this is going to say. But to me, this is exactly what I focus on. Not just my own trades, but how to get you guys studying more and get you in the right mindset. Esteban says, today is the first day of watching your DVDs. I've learned a lot from penny stocking and barely on disc 3. Best investment ever. Awesome. Awesome job, Esteban. That makes me very happy. I just literally I went through my list of tweets that I've retweeted. Look at this, AAQ, and he's up 7,000 since joining my challenge 2 months ago, and he shows different screenshots. What was his big win? This was like 4,000. TOPS was his big winner, it looks like. and he lost on STEM, and then he made 1,300 on MDGS, 787 on Skies, and it all adds up to 7,000 in 2 months. So that's awesome. Great job, AAQ. Who are you? Let's see. You are a PhD candidate and Timothy Sykes Challenge student. Thank you. I appreciate it. I look at every single message. So I am very grateful. And what you can also learn from this video lesson is, focus on your goal. For me, my goal is more millionaire students. So whether I make, what did I make exactly in August so far? $6,700, right? Whether I make $6,000 or $3,000 or $10,000 or $50,000, it's not going to change how many millionaire students I have. But by sharing every single trade publicly, the wins, the losses, the successes, the mistakes, even while traveling, I don't use traveling as an excuse. I don't use my crazy life as an excuse. I share my crazy life to show you that, you can kind of put trading in, whenever you can. I mean, one of my biggest gains, hopefully it was my biggest gain. Yes, it was my biggest gain of the month. ISNS. I mean, this was a blind trade as I was flying and I missed the market open by 2 hours and I still made 25% because this was so freaking perfect. And I mean, this was in the sixes pre-market, like the mid sixes. So could have made 50% plus, so not a perfect trade at all. But while you're traveling, it's very difficult to make perfect trades. And this was a trade I would do again and again. This was actually alerted to me by one of my challenge students, Carrie, and I appreciate that, Carrie. She emailed me and she was like, "Am I going crazy here, or is this ISNS, Friday after hours earnings winner the exact same setup as TOPS the Friday before?" And I missed TOPS because I was flying, and I was totally going to miss the next day. In ISNS, I was like, I'm not going to miss it twice, but I want to show you these kinds of trades. And I know a lot of people in the chat room were in this before me. When I logged in, because of the time zone difference in Asia, I bought this at I think it was like 7:30 Eastern at night. And it was like when I was waking up at like 7 a.m., in Asia. And I know a lot of people in the chat room, they were in from the 330s, 350s, 380s, and they spotted this before me. And that, my friends and students, that is what's going to help me create more millionaire students when you guys recognize the trade setups on your own. So whether I make 25% or 50%, or if I miss the trade on like TOPS and someone like AAQ, nails TOPS for, how much did he make on this? Looks like 3,800. That's what it's going to take. So I want more millionaire students, so I chronicle and I detail every single tweet, every single student who's messaging me. And I, detail much more than this with just Twitter. But this is, again, Twitter is very nice and easy for me to embed all on one page so you can see it. And this is a beautiful, beautiful page. I mean, this is like what is it called? There's something inspirational with a wall, a goal wall. What is it called? Let's see. Motivational wall. I know what this is. I know this is something. Motivational wall. Success wall. One of my students told me about this. I don't know. You put up your goals on a wall. Target goal wall. I don't know what it's called. Goal setting wall. Anyways, this is my wall. So for you guys, you can look at this wall too, and you should get inspired because you can see what other traders and students are doing. But please detail all your trades. Use Profitly. Use a spreadsheet if you want, like my student Jeff does. I don't care how you chronicle everything and scrapbook everything. I mean, this is a pretty cool way where AAQ has different screenshots of his profits and losses. That's sweet. Whatever works for you. just keep track of it. And that's really how you grow over time. It's not necessarily going to come easy. Success does not happen overnight, but it can happen in the long run. And that's why I'm very excited. Next week, I'm going to be introducing this DVD, Trader Checklist. So if you go to traderchecklist.com, if you haven't already, you can watch the first 30 minutes. But next week, we will be sending out all 11 hours for free. And that's going to be a very useful tool for you. So I think we're going to send it out, I think on Thursday or Friday of this week. So next weekend, be prepared. You know, take some time and just dig through this whole Trader Checklist DVD. It's really going to, I think, prepare you for trades. And I think that it's going to be kind of eye-opening for you guys to see what I do and what I think about before I enter a trade and even when I'm in a trade. So anyways, I got that. Congrats to everybody on such a great month. Congrats to people like Esteban, who's studying, Jeff, who's making 10, 15,000 a month, Eric, who's buying cars, and that guy AAQ, who made 7 grand, and Price Action Man, who made 40 grand. Just stick with it, okay? I can't tell you how many people give up too early in the educational process. Whether you're up 40 grand, whether you're up 7 grand, whether you're down 7 grand, whether you're down 40 grand. I know that this is a lot of money for some of you guys, but you have to focus on your long-term education. When I trade with a small account, or when you have small losses or small gains, it's all part of your growth in the long run if you stick with it. The vast majority of people quit too early. I got to bring up one more example. I'm sorry, I got to bring this up over and over again. This was a great blog post where I actually got introduced to Jeff because he posted to me that he had just passed 100,000. But in this blog post also was a message from NH, one of my challenge students, who had blown up 5 or 6 times. He never gave up, and now 3 years later he has an account of 320,000. And he says, "I owe you more than you can imagine. Bought a house, bought my dream car. Just wish more people understand that you're real." I appreciate that, NH, but I wish that more people would stick with it. Can you imagine blowing up your account 5 or 6 times and not quitting? If you think about how many times Thomas Edison and these great inventors failed with their inventions at first. Too many people who are on the verge of greatness, and the verge of great accomplishments, you give up and you harm yourself and your education. I'm not saying harm yourself, like cut yourself, but I'm saying you harm your future by giving up and cutting your education short. So I know it's difficult to think like this. Trust me, I know. I know a lot of you guys are like, "Tim, that's all great, but I got to pay bills right now." But with penny stock trading, with this skill, this is a lifelong skill. There's always going to be plays. There's always going to be new plays. And there's always going to be students like this, making a few hundred, selling stuff too soon. I mean, just look at this list. I mean, this took me literally like an hour now, just to go over different tweets. Here's Hudson, Blue Street Investor, HDSN. This is actually breaking out, and he made $1,600 profit. I'll just take random stuff. New Irish in AMDA at 112 with 10-cent risk, out at 129 for $134 profit. I'm planning trades much better. That's fantastic, Brandon. I'm going to give you a follow for that. You guys just need to stick with it, and you need to learn over time. You can't rush it. I wish that I could give you, just a way to make so much more money so quickly so that you'll believe me and you'll stick with it. But some of you guys are going to have to lose, and you're going to have small losses in the beginning to gradually realize what the patterns are. Never chase alerts, never trust picks from anybody. It's all about making the patterns and these plays work for you and your schedule in the long run. Um, there's no other way to do it. And if you stick with it, you will be surprised. But do not give up too early. Keep the losses small, paper trade if you have to, do whatever you have to do to stay in the education game so that you can see these plays every day, every few days, every few weeks, and you can kind of spot opportunities to buy and opportunities to short. I'll send out the watch list later tonight, but I wanted to get this video lesson out there so that you can really get in the right mindset. The mindset is so important. So many of you think that you're just going to get rich by hot picks, because that's frankly what you've been marketed to for years by penny stock people. And hot picks are irrelevant. Strategy, preparation, knowledge, self-sufficiency, these things are a lot more difficult to acquire, but they pay off huge in the long run. Thank you, and I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm excited to see many of you guys at my sold out conference in a few days. Thank you.